Welcome back to the channel. This week on the Kiwi Barefoot Gardener, we go back in time a week and check out some potting up of some seedlings. We check out the main crop spuds and see how they're going. We do a little update on the progress of the onions curing, and we check out the greenhouse and see how the fruits are going, whether they're ripening or not, since our clean up, tidy up and lifting of the leaves. Come potter with me in the garden. My name is Dawn and I am the Kiwi Barefoot Gardener. So first thing this week, we're going to go back in time a week to when I was doing some potting up of some brassicas. I didn't have time to put it in last week's vlog, it was just too long, so I've popped it in this week's vlog. So I hope it's helpful to you. Good afternoon. Well, it's a warm one out there at the moment and I'm hiding in the garage. Tomorrow's meant to be wet. We've got a heavy rain watch out, not a warning. So in some ways that will be quite nice for the garden, but not good in other ways because of the powdery mildew that's everywhere. But it is what it is. So it's too hot for me to be out in the garden, but I need to get some potting on or pricking out, whatever you like to call it, done. So these are cabbage seedlings that I did about 14 days ago. I sowed them. They are the green space saver ones. I quite like doing them because they're quite small. They don't take up a huge amount of the bed. So I just sprinkled them into a 6 cell, so many per 6 cell, and now they need to be potted on basically. So how do you pot on? We did do something like that way back, I think on maybe the first or second vlog, but we'll do it again today so that we can show you and a bit more clearly than what I did way back there. So what do you need for potting on? Well, you need more trays of seed raising mix or compost. This is just sieved compost, well moistened because you don't want to put your seedlings into something dry. Okay, of course you need your seedlings, always helpful. Some extra labels because you'll be putting together more pots than what you started with. So you need labels and a pen. The other thing that I quite often use is the handle of a teaspoon, but there are little gadgets like this. This is part of a 2-piece set that was cheap as chips at Bunnings, and it's got sort of like a little fork to lift out or a little spadey type thing to lift out, and sometimes I use it. I do find it a bit fiddly, but the thing that I do find really helpful in the whole thing is this little gadget. It's a mini dibber. And it just makes the holes so that you can drop the seedlings into. I mean, you can use anything like a pencil or the fat end of a chopstick or anything. And I did use that for a long time. I kept losing them, so I decided I'd spend, I think it was about $3, $4, $5 for, I don't think it was even that, for these two things. And for some reason, I managed not to lose them, so that's good. I sometimes misplace them slightly as I've been working in different areas, but generally I don't lose them, which is good for me. So I'll bring the camera in closer and we'll pot on some of these so you can see how I do it. So with my tray that I've got there, you just use your dibber and you just make holes. I make reasonable size holes because there will be some soil at the end of the seedling that you want to be able to get in there. So, and these trays are quite wet. So it's just like that. I think you can see the little holes on the thing. Then the next bit, and you can do it either way around, it doesn't matter which way you do it. You can pull out your seedlings first and then put your holes in ready to go, is you lift out your seedlings, and I do these in 6 cells so I can scatter sow into 6 cells so that I can just lift a cell out at a time and then just lay it quietly on the tray so it's easier for me to work with. And then you just need to tease out your seedling. Don't grab your seedling by its top or by its stem if you can avoid it, because you may actually rip your seedling apart doing that. Try and just do it by the root, especially at this point where you've got a lot of dirt on the bottom. Right, like that. And then I usually take off a reasonable amount of the soil around the seedling so I can get it in. Everyone's got their own way, but this is sort of just a general way of doing it, okay? And then I just pop it in my hole, which has collapsed a wee bit on me, but that's fine, and get it in there. And then I just, with the edge of my dibber, just gently, very gently, pop the soil around it. Don't squeeze it hard because you can damage the stem, okay? So get it in, and with brassicas, it's good to try and put them deep as you can, and up to where the leaves are. And I'll be doing a bit more in a second and show you why I've only got them that far so far. Okay, so I've got my 6 seedlings in. Choose your strongest seedlings. If you've got anything that's looking a bit weird shaped or a bit weak, this is the time to get rid of them. I know it's hard to get rid of seedlings, what have you. I'm one of the worst at it. But if it's already looking slightly munted, then it's not going to grow on well. So once you've got your seedlings in there, grab your label. Make sure you label it, because brassicas at this stage, you are not going to tell which is which, okay? And then what I do is I actually top it up using my cutting mix. So I'll bring it back once I've done that. Okay, so I've topped that up, and most of them, except for this one there, are topped up to where the leaves or leaf stems just split away from each other. Brassicas of any nature like to have a firm root base. They don't like to wobble, and it's perfectly fine to bury them up to that point. Unlike tomatoes, they're not going to put out extra roots along the buried bit, but it will support them and they will be happier in their tray once you've done that. Now, the other thing I'll often do is that from this point, I'll pop them in a little tray of very weak seaweed solution for about 20 minutes, half an hour, just to get them over their seed transplant shock. But yeah, I haven't got a tray of it made up at the moment, so I'll leave these. So I'm just going to keep working away till I get through that tray and got more potted on, and leave it there for today. Good afternoon. Well, it's Wednesday and my week has just gone whoop, but I'm out here today. It's warm if you're out in the sun. There's a light breeze, but it's still warm. So I'm hiding in the fence shade at the moment. Now, what do I want to do today? Well, I really need to start with my spuds, which I think you can just see in shot. These are my main crop ones, and I thought I'd lift them. A couple of reasons why I want to lift them. The foliage, as you can see, isn't doing too well. And I want to be able to eat them next week because I've got family coming to stay, and I would like to be able to serve them some homegrown spuds. So I'm going to lift them today. Well, I'm going to lift at least one pot, if not more. We'll just see what I get in the pots. Not holding my breath, but So my early crop, I got a really poor result from, and I'm not holding my breath about these ones. But I have done a wee bit more research since I last lifted my spuds way back, and I think I know what I did wrong. So I think at the time I was lifting the earlies, I said that I thought that the seed potatoes, I had over-chitted them. And I think, yeah, that's what I did. Now, the reason why I think they were over-chitted was they were really squishy. They had good, chits, sprouts on them. But I think because they were overchitted, they didn't have the nutrients to actually feed the new plant, which is what the seed potato does to start with. Now, how did I overchit them? Well, with the extra research and study I've done. So definitely where I have them as far as light's concerned is good. Just the right amount of light, not in direct sunlight, that sort of thing. However, where I've got them is too warm. So I'm going to have to look for somewhere that is exactly the same light, etc., but a cooler temp. They normally been chitting them in the main lounge area, kitchen, dining, sort of, big room. So I need to find somewhere else. I think the garage will be not appropriate. So I'm still thinking about where I can put them. So I'm going to get on with this. We'll do a bit of speedy and a bit of music and see what I come up with. I want to get it done before the sun completely moves around and cooks me. So off we go. I think that might be classed as a complete fail. I got that out of that pot and there should have been 3 in there. So, rethinking. There were a lot of little tubers that looked like that they would have gone into full spuds if I'd left it a bit longer. So, what I'm thinking, see, got a whole lot here too. What I'm thinking is I might feed the pots, give them a drink, a really good drink, feed the pots and maybe give them another 4 weeks and see if I get anything better. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 more pots left. I'm not going to lose anything really because there's so little in them, so I might try that because certainly, for what I put in, that's pathetic, what I got out. So that was a fail. So I will go on and grab some potato food. I've got some sitting there, specific potato food that was left over from when someone moved. They gave it to me. I normally just use sheep pellets or something like that. But might as well use that potato food up, give them a good water and go and find something else to do because there's no shortage of things to do. It's just about where they are because, as I said, it's warm in the sun and I don't really want to cook. One thing I did find was the label. And it looks like, I think that from what I can read, it was agria. And I planted them on the 8th of the 10th, so yeah. So yeah, they've been in 4 months, so disappointing, but So I've given them a feed, I'm just about to give them a drink, and then we'll move on and see what else there is to do in the garden. Good morning, it's Friday, end of week. So I thought what we'd do this morning briefly is just a quick update with a couple of things that have been going on in the garden. The weather's meant to go to pot later, so not holding my breath and getting much time out today. So yeah, just thought just do a really quick update on things like the onions and the fruit in the greenhouse, how that's going. Right, I can't really get me and the onions in. So as you can see, they're laid out. That's the majority of them. There's another wee pile to that side of the camera. Anyway, so they're starting to dry out, especially the red ones are doing really well. They're laid out, they have been turned once, but they're all going to actually have to come in today, I think, because we've got rain today, fine tomorrow, but rain for the next 2 days after that. So I'll just move the camera around and you can have a quick look at the other ones. That's the other little pile. So good mix of red and white there, but you can see the skins are starting to turn brown as they're supposed to. So yeah, really happy with them, but as I said, they're probably going to have to go onto the garage on the floor now because the weather's going to go to pot. Right, let's go and have a quick look at the greenhouse. Okay, so we've made the greenhouse, and as you can see, just the wee bit you can see, there's quite a bit that has ripened up since I lifted up all the foliage and cleared things out. The other thing I have noticed this morning as I came in, there's a caterpillar in here, and the reason I know that there's a caterpillar in there's caterpillar poo all over the leaves of the cucumber, so I'll have to go and see if I can find him and evict him. Though things are starting to rapidly come to a close in here, I don't think that the greenhouse will be occupied by these pots for more than another couple of weeks. So let's have a look at what's ready. What you can't see is my mystery tomato, which is the one that I think is the beefsteak Cherokee purple. That's got at least 2 big ones that are ripe. Bread, I think, might be ripe in some parts, so I might pull a couple of those. They've gone quite dark, and I wasn't really sure when bread would be ready, so the one I picked a week to 10 days ago, looked at it yesterday or the day before, and it was quite soft, so I think, and its colour had changed, so I'm going to go by that. This is that Sunrise Bumblebee or the Artisan Plum? I lost the label. Oh no, there it is. Excuse me for reaching. Let's see if I can get the label out. Yep, that's the Artisan Plum, which I thought it might be. So that looks ready, and some of them. Let's just see if I can get one off. Oh yeah, it came off really easy. So as you can see, it's a beautiful colour. I do quite like it as far as the look of it is. Let's see what it tastes like later, and we'll go from there. The other one that's really just behind it, which is one I had before, I'm pretty sure it's the same one. Yep. So that's the Sunrise Bumblebee, which you can see is similar to the Artisan Plum, smaller because it's a cherry, whereas the Artisan Plum is a plum. And this is redder as with yellow, whereas the other one's sort of yellow with red. So, Now, this was the one I tried last week or the week before off the bush, and it was a bit, So, let's see how these ones taste. Hopefully a bit better. I have grown these before, and they were really yummy, hence why I grew them again. But that last one I tried was blah. But anyway, we'll try that. What else is back there? There is a fair few black cherries. There's another beefsteak, and I think it's just a plain beefsteak, and it's colouring, but it's not ready to pull off yet. And I've got red capsicums, and they look to be the bullhorn type, the Marconi one, so that's quite good. There might be another orange ready, orange capsicum bell one as well, so I'll have a look at that as well. So I won't pick them with you because trying to get the camera in and moving around at the moment with this, just not easy to do. There is a cucumber there off the patio snacker. Well, there's 2, but the bigger one still not ready, so that's okay. And I think there is a cucumber back there, might be a market more, but I'm going to leave that because I've got guests next week and I'd like to have a fresh cucumber to make a salad for her. So that'd be good. And the melons I think might be getting there. I'll have to sniff to see if they're ripe. I always find it difficult to work out whether they're ripe. Charles Dowding does a thing on it about when your melon's ripe, and I'll have to go back and have a quick look to see what he says. But they are changing pattern and things like that, from just being a green blob to a patterned blob. And I've always just gone by the sniff test, so does it smell like a melon? So we might do a sniff test on that and I'll report back. But in the meantime, I'm going to back the camera and the tripod out, and I've got my colander, so I'm going to do some picking and see how things are. Okay, so harvested. Couldn't find the caterpillar that was pooping all over the cucumber. Got down to the other end to where the melons are. No, they're not ready. I did the sniff test. But I found this. And then this. So someone has been having a good feed. There's several leaves like that. I'll just biff them out of the greenhouse. But I found the culprits. Well, two culprits. And they're going to get biffed out. I don't know if you can see them on my hands. They're just those tiny little green caterpillars. So those little sods are going west. So at this time of year, it's just, you know, a matter of picking them off and hoping for the best, and that the melons and what have you are ripe soon. I think I said last vlog that there was a potential on the sugar baby other than the one that's there. Yeah, it had been going yellow at the top and I was very dubious. It's now rotted off at the top, so it's gone. And one of the other babies off one of the other melons is also rotted off. So usually happens when they're not completely pollinated. It can happen for other reasons, but generally at this size it's more because they haven't properly been pollinated. This size, it may have just got rot. Yeah, who knows, but it's no good. So what did I get? Well, I got 3 of those. They're not quite 100% red and ripe, but they'll do. I can put them on the bench and they'll probably ripen up, but I can still use them really well for stir fries or even salads, to be honest. Though it's not really salad weather. My one little orange one, I've had 3 others. Right. Oh, the one that I thought was the ordinary beefsteak, it's not. It's chef's bicolour. So it's ripe. The only reason it looks, it doesn't really sort of look ripe, but it's soft. So what else did I get that was interesting? Oh, so I picked off one of those huge ones, which I thought was the Cherokee purple. But actually, thinking about it, maybe that one, the mystery one, is a chef's bicolour. Yeah, because it's like the similar. Anyway, as you can see, it's big. And it's getting soft, so I will use that in the next day or so. Now, I did pick off a good number of Brad's Atomic Grape, and boy, is he pretty when he's ripe. So I'll bring that close to the camera. Can you see his beautiful colours? I'll just rotate him slowly. So he's quite dark in places, but he has a mixture of red rusty colours and things like that. Now these ones came off quite easily, so I'm pretty sure that they're quite ripe, and I think the way that you tell it, I don't know if I can find the other one that wasn't quite ripe. No, I can't. So at the end, can you see he's gone quite orange at the top there? Now the other one that I picked before I noticed that was quite green at the top. It did come off okay, but not as anywhere easily as this one did. So I'm pretty pleased with that. He's beautiful. And we've looked at the artisan plums. There's a few there. The black cherries, they're ready. I don't know if I'm going to do them next year. The flavour's not out of the world. Had a bit of problem with splitting. They are quite thin-skinned and they're a bit like the Sungold. Sungold splits quite easily, but they're usually so sweet that you sort of, you know, excuse them for that, and you know that they're going to do it, so you pick them and use them quickly. I mean, they're great in salads and things, or quiches and things, but yeah. So yeah, a bit disappointed with the poor old melons getting a bit munted by the old caterpillar, but it is what it is. Can't really change it. Got a couple of cucumbers, one good one that will be ready so that I've got it for Monday when I've got family here, and one that will be ready maybe another week or so. It's still quite smallish compared to the other one. So yeah, happy with that. But I was just thinking as I was picking and what have you, what I might do next week's vlog is bring you in here and we're going to do a review of what worked, what didn't work, and what I will do next year, because I've been seriously thinking that I need to rethink what I'm doing in here. It's too crowded, my own fault. I always do it. I've done it year after year, and at this time of year I say, I'm not going to do that this next year, and what do? I do it. But this year I did do a few different varieties because I got enticed by the fact that I'd always wanted to try them, and they arrived later in the catalogue, and you know what it's like. So I'm going to try and be good next year. I've counted out already what would potentially be the ideal number max in here pot wise, so that I haven't got a full second row. I do have a second row, but there's good gaps between it. And seriously looking at what I'm going to do as far as plant types. So watch this space. I think we'll do that next week and have a good look. It's good to reflect on your growing season while you've actually still got the stuff there to reflect on and make notes so that you don't forget when it comes to next season. So we'll do that review next week. So I think I'm going to leave that for today and go and see what's inside, and then we'll do a coffee and chat at some stage in the very near future. So it's that time of week for a coffee and chat. Got the coffee, though I'll admit most of it's already gone, and a chat and see what we're up to. So as you can tell from the title of the vlog this week, yeah, it's not been a great week for me. I've been feeling decidedly blah. Now, I said right back at the beginning, you know, this was going to be a warts and all type vlog. It was going to be following my weekly journey in the garden. So this week it has definitely been warts and all. So one of the reasons why I describe myself as disabled, well, the main reason, is that I have a condition called spinal stenosis. So what is spinal stenosis? Well, it can be from wear and tear and age-related wear and tear. So after 40 plus years of nursing, there was a fair bit of wear and tear. It also can come from a condition that's quite common, osteoarthritis and herniated discs. So I have the trifecta on those. I have age-related degeneration, I have osteoarthritis, not just in my back but in joints in my neck as well as my shoulders, my hands and my knees, and I've also had herniated discs. So this all started affecting my life significantly in around late 2016ish, and I've had, in that period of time, I've had 4 surgeries for that and 1 emergency surgery to fix up a complication from the first surgery. The initial surgeries were just decompressions and things, so they were reasonably easy to get over and quite mild as far as the after effects were concerned. The initial presentations were pretty spectacular, but the after effects were quite mild. However, as time's gone by, I've needed more significant intervention, and I've had 2 spinal fusions. I often joke that I've got more metal in my back than the average car. Not quite true, but yeah. The last 2 surgeries were significant surgeries. They were quite long, you know, like 6 hours, 5 to 6 hours. And as a result of the last surgery, I was significantly affected with chronic fatigue, which, so 2.5 years since my last surgery, I still get that. On top of that, in the last 18 months, I've developed a really weird immune disorder, gastric disorder, and that can make me feel really tired as well. It has an effect on how you feel. So after all that, really what I'm saying is I had a blah week, and it was a combination of chronic fatigue, my guts playing up as not feeling that great with that, and my get up and go got up and left. Now, I love gardening, you all know that, and I have used my gardening to help me get over my surgeries. It's my form of physio and things like that. So, and gets me up and gets me moving every day. I'm very much the philosophy of you use it or lose it. So me not being out in the garden much this week is unusual and really shows that I'm just not feeling 100%. But it'll go. It's, it's one of those things that, you have good days, good weeks, bad weeks. And this week's just been a there week. So next week probably be completely different. So what did we get up to this week? Well, I used some footage from the previous vlog that never actually made it after I did the editing, mainly because it was just too long. But I did want to share that with you, and it's around potting things on. So we have a quick look at potting on some brassicas, and I can report that the ones that I've potted on during that time are doing really well. So that's good. Another thing we did was look at harvesting the main crop potatoes. That didn't work out, did it? So that was a big fail. So I have fed and watered, I think it's the other 5 pots there, and give them another 3, maybe 4 weeks. It's pushing it, but yeah, see if I get anything. There was a whole lot of, potential new small spuds, like tiny little nuggets, that maybe if given more time they might have turned into real spuds. So I'm hoping that it will be in the other pots and that I'll get some more spuds from that. We had a quick look at the onions and how they were doing. As I said, they're going to have to get hauled in. I think I said earlier that they're going to have to get hauled in and put in the garage because we've got rain this afternoon and tomorrow's meant to be fine, but then the 2 days after that it's meant to be more rain. So I'll haul them in and finish trying to dry them out in the garage. And the greenhouse, yeah, I'm sort of happy with it. You always want more out of something that you've put quite a lot of work into, but what I've got out there, it's way better than last year's, so, it is improvement. So I'll just keep harvesting out of there for the next couple of weeks, but as I said earlier, I just don't think that a lot of them are going to do more than another couple of weeks. The fruit should all ripen, and as it's finished, I'll just haul the plants out and use it for other things. Just like to thank everyone who's subscribed to date. You're absolutely awesome. And if you're visiting the vlog for the first time and you want to follow on, just hit that subscribe button and it'll notify you when I post another video, which is usually every Sunday. I don't think I've missed a Sunday yet. So yeah, love you to join the journey. Okay, I'm going to leave it there now. I think I've probably done enough for this week's vlog. I want to wish you a happy and safe week in the garden, and I hope that your garden is producing as many goodies as mine is. So I'll catch up with you in the next vlog. So from me for now, bye.